Alright, shalom. Before I get started, we all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawahshi, Yahawahshi, Rakakadash, just the brother, Abakala Walam, here with another hopeful edifying lesson to the elect body of Yahawahshi, Yahawahshi. I'm gonna play this video, which a title. I don't have one in mind right now. It's basically relating to Psalms 83, the secret counsels of the wicked, which the elites of Edom creates these situations or philosophies that trap the children of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, your daily lifestyle, which is not a life. It's the lifestyle that you live, and it's been developed or created intentionally to keep you destroyed. Like it says in Deuteronomy 28, I will put a yoke of iron, the book of Deuteronomy 28, until I destroy thee, right? It might be 68. Trip. No. Let me see. It's Deuteronomy 28, put keywords on Deuteronomy 28 and 48. So like, yeah, it says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahawah shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he destroy thee, right? So that's basically their meaning. There is the elites of Edom, also with the cooperation with these other heathen nations. They out there putting they're putting things together to further destroy you or to keep you destroyed, right? And I just think this precept too said you will find no rest, right? Deuteronomy 28 and 64 says, and the Lord Yahawah shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord Yahawah shall give thee there a but the Lord Yahawah shall give thee there a trembling heart and a felling of eyes and sorrow of mind, right? And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life, right? So that's the children of Israel, right? So now I'm gonna get into this video and see how that applies, right?
Understanding how the CIA works and how the crack cocaine epidemic actually started. If you don't know how the private prison for profit pipeline works and how many black people they are literally still working as slaves to this day, and that corporations like McDonald's and Starbucks and Verizon are profiting off of slave labor in our prison system today, paying prisoners cents per hour wages. Yes. That, like, if you don't understand those things, then you could think, oh my gosh, America is full of entrenched racism. But what it actually is it's deep state and corporate programs that are profiting to the tunes of billions of dollars off of literally smuggling crack cocaine into the black neighborhoods in LA in order to impoverish those black neighborhoods. If they are running sexual blackmail operations in the black music industry with people like P. Diddy and promoting degenerate music in order to promote degenerate culture, in order to have gangster culture, thug culture, hoe culture, because that keeps this type of people in this lower vibrational thinking. It keeps them doing things that will lead the men to prison and lead the women to whatever the hell it's leading them to, and that is so profitable to them. The goal was always to destroy us, and they try to do it in every way possible, through the streets, through the music, through each other. And it baffles my mind to know the amount of people that don't know the real reason of why black people, Hispanic people are in the state that we're in. Everywhere you turn around, we fill up the ghettos, we fill up the prisons, and it's not by coincidence. It was all a part of the plan. It was always a part of the strategy to keep us down, to keep us impoverished, to keep our minds in a low vibrational state to where we can't get up and fight like our ancestors did in the civil rights. They didn't want that anymore. So they decided to push all of this garbage into our minds, into our spirits, so that they will never have a civil rights era again. And it worked, and it's continuing to work because we keep on feeding into it. If you don't have a back.
So yeah, you see that who was disaffected. You know, she said this. The guy was explaining that the CIA, which is the top um, government agency of America, is creating these situations to basically destroy a group or a race of people, which they know who they are. They know who the children of Israel are, right? It's you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? So, you know, it's a plan. It was a plan all along, right? To funnel drugs into the blacks, Latinos, Native Americans communities, to keep them destroyed. And there was a sense of unity, more or less, and understanding who your enemy was during this so-called civil rights. During this civil rights era, right? And Jake, they knew who their enemy was. Who was Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. It was obvious. So he had to find a way to take that mindset away from our people. So the funneling of drugs and infiltration of these black groups, or black organizations, so to speak, for less uh, black organizations, so to speak, right? They had to break that up because people was aware, as a nation of people. These particular people was aware, meaning the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? They were aware of the wickedness of Esau, right? This self-proclaimed white man. So he had to put it into that. So, like the scripture said, he's crafty, right? That's Psalms 83, which I'm gonna get to that, but I'm going back to Deuteronomy again. Deuteronomy 28, 48, right? So they was intentionally putting drugs in our communities, and this um, uh, degenerate music, which the scripture says that, right? You have become a degenerate plant, right? So through the undermining tactics of the devil, these Edomites, they was waging war on you, basically psychological warfare, and that's through this music and giving you ideas that if you do this or live this destructive lifestyle, you can be you're your progress, right? But it's the opposite. You're not. You're being further destroyed. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahawah shall send against thee, and in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee, right? So the devil has destroyed your mind, so there's no need to these yokes of iron and chains on you, because you're destroyed mentally, right? So that's the devil's mindset since slavery, and it's still like that today. He still got that same mindset. You gotta keep these people destroyed. This is Psalm 83, verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consorted against thy hidden ones, right? So that's what these devils do. They are crafty, right? I'm gonna read out the Amplified version, verse 3, right? He said they concocted crafty schemes against your people and conspired together against the hidden and precious ones, right? So you're hidden, you don't know who you are, but they know who you are, right? Right? So that's the reason why they're going about um, the way they are. This lady was saying, why are we being targeted? You know why? Because you're the children of Israel, and they know that, but you don't know that. 2/3 of Israel doesn't know it, right?
If you don't have a background in understanding how the CIA works and how the crack cocaine epidemic actually started, if you don't know how the private prison for profit pipeline works and how many black people they are literally still working as slaves to this day, and that corporations like McDonald's and Starbucks and Verizon are profiting off of slave labor in our prison system today, paying prisoners cents per hour wages. Yes, that, like, if you don't understand those things, then you could think, oh my gosh, America is full of entrenched racism. But what it actually is it's deep state and corporate programs that are profiting to the tunes of billions of dollars off of literally smuggling crack cocaine into the black neighborhoods in LA in order to impoverish those black neighborhoods. They are running sexual blackmail operations in the black music industry with people like P. Diddy and promoting degenerate music in order to promote degenerate culture, in order to have gangster culture, thug culture, hoe culture, because that keeps this type of people in this lower vibrational thinking. It keeps them doing things that will lead the men to prison and lead the women to whatever the hell it's leading them to, and that is so profitable to them.
That's destruction, right? So that's a lifestyle that they created. It was concocted from the beginning. It was not by coincidence. It was not by accident. It was a thoroughly sought out plan, right? Psalms 83 and 3 again, it says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Verse 4, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, right? So that's why these devils are targeting so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Why are you the ones that's filling up the prison systems? Why are you at the bottom? Why are you struggling? Why, all this oppression and hatred is 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 um is directed at you, right?
Goal was always to destroy us, and they try to do it in every. Lead the women to.
That's the key word, destroy us. I just read that out of Deuteronomy 28 and 48, right?
Whatever the hell it's leading them to, and that is so profitable to them. The goal was always to destroy us.
The goal was always to destroy us, right? That was their goal.
Try to do it in every way possible, through the streets, through the music, through each other. And it baffles my mind to know the amount of people that don't know the real reason of why black people, Hispanic people are in the state that we're in.
The real reason is because you're the children of Israel and you have enemies. And these Edomites, the self-proclaimed white race, is your top number one nemesis, right? Along with these other nations, they are the enemies of you and of the Lord, right? They are the enemies, and the reason why is because they know who you are, and you're destroyed mentally. The majority of you are destroyed mentally, and that was by design, right? Psalms 83 and 4 again, it says, they have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And here's the enemies, the tabernacles of Edom, the number one enemies, the number one enemy of the nation of Israel, the Edomites, right? Which the self-proclaimed white race. They are the top nemesis of the Edomites, along with these Ishmaelites, which is the Arabs, Moab, there's Chinese, Hagarenes, right? And the rest of them, right? I think Hagarenes, I think it's the Africans, if I'm not mistaken. Cabal, Ammon, Japanese, Amalek, and those Izzies over there with the small hats, with the black suits, that's exterminating the Palestinians over there, you know. So is the rest of these other nations, right? Psalm 17. Psalm 17 and 8. The book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse 8 says, keep me as the apple of the eye. Keep me as the apple of the eye. hide me under the shadow of thy wings from the wicked that oppress me. The wicked is the Edomites. Malachi 1 4. Malachi, the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4, tells you who the wicked is, right? The Edomites. For the wicked have oppressed me from my deadly enemies, right? I just read you the enemy list, right? You can go and, just, I read you some of it. You can read it, the rest of it, right? Go back and read it, Psalms 83, right? They are the enemies of you. Verse 9 again, it says, for the wicked have oppressed me for my deadly, from my deadly enemies who compass me about, right? So like I said, this is a destructive lifestyle. There's degenerate music. They're putting drugs in your community, guns, oppressing you, discriminating against you. They're they're in a total opposition against you in every way that that you can think of. Every way possible. They in total opposition against you. Esau, right? It says from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. They are enclosed in their own fat. With their mouth, they speak proudly. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, right? So, just going into the security, the camera systems that you see even now today, that they try to justify happening. These fly cameras. These everywhere you go, you got cameras watching your every move, right? And don't get me wrong, the cameras need to be set, but not how these devils are doing it. Because of course you got criminals, and they need to be watched. Things need to be protected, but they got a whole nother way about it. They're not doing it in a righteous way. They're not doing it for a righteous thing, for a righteous cause. They're doing it for a wicked purpose, right? To watch your movements, so they can further oppress you, right? Verse 11, it says, they have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, right? These camera systems, right? Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Arise, O Yahawah, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, right? So that's what these devils are. They are the sword of the wicked. They are the sword of the Lord to do his bidding on the left hand side, right? To basically destroy Jake. And that's what this devil is doing. He's destroying 2/3 of Israel, right? Some way, form, or fashion. Verse 14, it says, for men, from men, which are in thy hand, O Yahawah, from men of the world, which have their portion in his life, and whose belly thou fillest with the hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Right? That's these Edomites. They the ones that can got all these they've been doing it for centuries. Right? Decades, centuries, right? Passing down on inheritance and this, that, and the third. Jake just started doing that not too long ago. Of course, you probably had a, a couple exceptions here and there, but Jake just started doing that. Can pass, being able to pass things down to their children. That wasn't so for the majority of us, right? Verse 15, it says, "As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness," right? Right. So these devils come up with plans. Just like you said, the CIA, and the CIA is ran by the elites of either the world bankers, these elite bankers, right? The Rothschild, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Morgans, you know, and the ones that you rarely see anything about, that they don't want to talk about, that um they the ones that control the world behind the scenes, right? That's why it says the secret counsels of the wicked. They the ones that strategize and put things together to make things move in the earth, right? The reason for this world government, right? They are the masterminds behind that, right? So yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what they're continuing to do. They're trying to destroy a nation of people because they know who you are and they're your enemies, right? But 2/3 of Israel, they will not, they will not accept this. They will not accept the truth, uh, and they're gonna stay destroyed until they're physically destroyed, right? That's what's gonna happen. I think Jeremiah said that. How long? How long, O Lord? Let me see. It says the cities waste. Isaiah. I think it's Jeremiah. Inhabitants. It says without inhabitants. Yeah, Jeremiah. Like, is it laid waste? That's like it when it's Isaiah 6:11. So this how Jacob's gonna stay this way until they're physically destroyed, right? They're mentally destroyed already until they're ultimately physically destroyed. This is Isaiah 6:11. It's not Jeremiah. It says Isaiah Salakia. It says, "Then I said, Lord Yahawah, how long? And he answered. Isaiah 6 and 9, it says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not, right? So like I said, Jake, they not gonna accept this truth, man. They see it, but they don't perceive it. They see what's going on, but they still don't understand what's going on, right? They don't, they choose not to, so to speak, right? Verse 10, it says, make the heart of this people fat and make their eyes heavy and shut their eyes lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. And then said I, Lord Yahawah, Bashem Yahushua, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly destroyed. Right? So that's how long the Lord gonna keep 2/3 of Israel in the state that they're in, and letting these devils further destroy them until they be ultimately wiped out, man. Right? So that's the plan of Yahawah. So I'm gonna go and end it off there. I hope it's edifying to the elect. I'm gonna say call Layim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Shalom till next time Yahweh Ratazah, which means Lord willing, and why Abba Bo.